Good morning. That was a great open by Logan, and thank you to Biz 417 for putting on an event like this in our community each year. Hopefully everybody's had their first cup of coffee and ready to be engaged and connect with others and see what's going to happen here today. At Paragon Architecture, our mission is to impact through our communities through service leadership with the purest intent. That is why we focus on the projects we do and are engaged in community efforts. We improve communities through impactful and resilient buildings. We partner with educators to create flexible, student-focused learning environments. And we create high-performing, inspiring workplaces that help make businesses succeed. We strive to enrich every community with quality design that enhances the community and overall human experience. Please visit our innovation station over in the interactive living room to experience some of our projects, some virtual reality, and learn a little bit more about how we can be your Sherpa through the architectural journey. So some of you might not know, but I'm not supposed to be here today. Back in 2003, when I followed my wife to Springfield, we were supposed to be in Denver or Indianapolis by 2006. And by now, we were supposed to be back home in the Chicago area. But something changed. In 2006, I decided to stop residing in Springfield and to start living in Springfield instead. And what a difference that has made. Through my participation in the community leadership visits with the Chamber of Commerce and our projects across the region, I've seen what makes successful communities work and what they have in common. They have strong partnerships and real collaboration. They focus on talent attraction and engaging their young professionals. They have supportive, entrepreneurial environments and a strong philanthropic spirit that supports nonprofits, but also large civic projects, the arts, education. And they capitalize and connect their natural assets. We have most of that, if not more, here in Springfield, and that's why we decided to stay. But we need to effectively communicate that message consistently about what makes our city great. I would encourage you to be part of that message, to get engaged, to make an impact, and to quote Jeff Houghton, make something where you are. That's what we did with Paragon. The city of our future panelists are doing just that here in Springfield. They are tying together a strong vision with support for economic development and creating a sense of place. They support a rich culture for the arts while connecting it all together with our connection to the outdoors. Please help me welcome Robin Robeson with Guaranty Bank and the chair-elect for the Springfield Area Chamber of Commerce, along with our panelists, to the stage.
Morning. Thank you, Brad. Good morning. Well, as Brad said, I'm Robin Robeson with Guaranty Bank, and I am super excited to be here this morning. This is actually my first Think Summit. Do we have any other first-timers in the audience? Oh, a lot, so I'm not alone. Awesome. Well, this is my first Think Summit, and I just can't believe that the first time I'm actually sitting up here with these great panelists that are going to impart a lot of wisdom on us today. So let me go ahead and introduce our panelists. To my left is Ryan Mooney. Ryan is the Senior Vice President of Economic Development with the Springfield Area Chamber of Commerce. Good morning, Ryan. Good morning. Next is Mary Kromrey. Mary is the Executive Director for the Ozark Greenways. Morning, Mary. And Tim Rosenbury is an architect and the managing partner for BRP Architects. And Tim has already been to another meeting this morning, so he is actually super, super productive today. I was texting him at like 8:15 going, "Where are you?" So would everybody in the room agree that it's an exciting time to be in Springfield and in Southwest Missouri? Can we all agree to that? Good. So some wonderful projects are happening in our city and to improve our city and our region and to make it an even better place to live and work. What ties us all together is that we all play a part in helping our city leaders and community organizations think bigger about our future. So I'm a member of a visioning committee that the Chamber put together about 2 years ago. And the charge for the committee is to make certain that Springfield is the most vibrant metropolitan area in Missouri where individuals, families, and businesses thrive. And we formed a set of values and initiatives to make sure that this vision is met for upcoming and future projects. So each of our panelists today represent an initiative set by the Visioning Committee, and so we're going to get right to it. So Tim, I'm going to start with you this morning. As you know, investing in well-designed facilities, inspiring places, and robust infrastructure that connect our lives and create exceptional community amenities was identified as one of the 5 key initiatives. Now, you're a member of the Springfield Art Museum Board, so thank you for hosting today, Springfield Art Museum. Can you tell us about the Art Museum's master plan and how it enhances that broader concept of community infrastructure?
I can. We're really excited about this master plan. It came totally out of a 5-year strategic plan that was established, about 4 years ago. And the overriding idea is to create social capital in Springfield through art. And that seemed to be the most logical and natural expression of what it means to be a municipal art museum. And so one of the things that we looked at with this facility is that it sits in this terrific park, this really chain of parks that begins over at the Xeriscape Garden, comes through here, connects over to Phelps Grove, ultimately goes into Fast Night via the flood improvements that are occurring along Bennett Street. And the idea was to build on this tradition of museum within park that you see up in St. Louis, you see in Kansas City, and that we can have that here in Springfield, but we would do it in an entirely 21st century contemporary kind of way. And the key component is that the museum is not a destination that just sits in the park that you go to, but it's part of connective tissue that brings things all the way through, that you would literally move through the building to go from one end of the park to the other. And so I think this is the paradigm of what we're looking for in the future as we think about the design of community facilities. Destinations, yes, but we go beyond that and we talk about how does it create synergy? How does it connect to other parts of the community?
Awesome, and we've been able to see some slides rolling in the background just with some of the images for what it's going to look like. So that's amazing. I can't wait to see it.
We're very excited about it. We have incredibly talented architects, B&IM out of Kansas City, in charge of the plan. We couldn't be more excited.
Great. Well, Ryan, I want to continue to talk about visioning initiatives, and can you give the audience an update on the Idea Commons project and how it is a strategic project that will be an economic catalyst for the community?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a really exciting project, and I think economic catalyst is very fitting for this project. In fact, as the Visioning Committee was working on kind of looking through a lot of plans that the community had and things that were already out there, this one really sort of rose to the top of those things that we think could really be those economic catalysts. This sits in an existing district called Idea Commons that Missouri State has been working on for quite some time. It started with the Jordan Valley Innovation Center, the E-Factory, Brick City, so there's already some momentum there, but right in the middle of all these facilities is a big parking lot and a relatively rough bar. We for a long time, as a partnership with the city and Missouri State, the Chamber looked at that site and said, wow, that'd be great to have something there. And then the Vecino Group entered the picture and said, hey, we can get that rough bar under control. And if we did that and came together with you all, what would we put there? And from an economic development standpoint, we said, well, we would really like some office space for the prospects that we're dealing with, a lot of them in the IT industry that would love to be downtown. And Missouri State said, well, we need more space at the Jordan Valley Innovation Center, and for companies that are exiting the E-Factory, successfully exiting the E-Factory, we need more space for them as well. And the city looked at that site and said, well, we've got some issues with Jordan Creek that we'd like to be able to address, and we'd like to open it up and daylight that creek, make it an amenity that we could have more development occur along and have trails run through and be an attractive feature for our community. And all of that came together on this site. And so you're seeing the renderings flashing behind me. That facility, it'll be a $55 million development with a park space through the middle of it, 130,000 square feet of office and lab space, a parking structure to be able to accommodate the parking for that site, and such a fantastic opportunity for Idea Commons, for downtown, and really all of Springfield to have this sort of thing happening. We've got and I'm going to call it a stack of incentives because I think we probably picked the toughest development site in the entire city to take a look at. So it's going to take a lot of incentives to make it work, but we're getting pretty close. Just one more that we need to get in place, and I think we'll be ready to go. But that will give us the opportunity then to start to daylight Jordan Creek west of this site and really make a really nice community amenity there. So certainly exciting, and we hope that it'll catalyze more in that area.
So is anyone that knows Ryan surprised that he was somehow able to work a bar into his presentation? I traveled with him a few times with the chamber, and somehow we always end up at a brewery every time, right, Ryan?
It's an equality of place.
Yes, yes. So Mary, Ozark Greenways has a big role in another visioning initiative that we refer to as Outdoors Everywhere. Can you tell us what Ozark Greenways is doing to enhance the vibrancy of our community by weaving these elements of the Ozark's natural beauty into our neighborhoods, our centers of activity, and the urban core?
I'd love to. I'm a little bit partial to our trail system, and we've got one of our gorgeous shots of the James River Greenway up on the screen right now. And Outdoors Everywhere, man, that is spot on for this sweet spot that we all live and work at here in the Ozarks. And also, you're spot on with that word weaving. That's exactly what our trail system does, is it connects people to the places they want to go, to our outdoors, and most importantly to each other. And what this trail system is going to do is going to serve as that synergy or that conduit, right? As we talk about the Fast Night Creek Greenway Trail and its relation to the art museum and the connection of all those fantastic parks, both new and historic. When we look downtown at Idea Commons, the Jordan Creek Greenway Trail is very nearby. And so that trail system connects our streams, our parks, our businesses, and our neighborhoods all to each other, and that's pretty special.
Mm-hmm. It absolutely is. So staying on this topic with you, Mary, Ozark Greenways is known for doing so much but with so few resources. That's not an understatement, right? So is there anything you can tell us about the capital improvements program and what the audience should know about what will appear on the April ballot as it relates to the concept of Outdoors Everywhere?
Well, I haven't seen the ballot, so let's just put that out there right now. But our capital improvements project is a great way for citizens to invest and reinvest in their community. And it's going to be appearing on the April ballot. And the biggest difference is that the capital improvements program has been going on now. It's been up for re-election or renewal 9 times. And so what we're looking to do is to take that from a 3-year renewal to a 20-year renewal, which is going to give our community the ability to do some long-term planning. And we really need to start doing that so that we can see these larger projects that can really transform and create this quality of place and this quality of life. So I would strongly encourage everybody to go out on the City of Springfield's website. You can just Google or type in Community Improvement Program, our Capital Improvement Program, and you're going to see when it started, all of the times that it's been renewed, and all of the fantastic projects that have occurred since then. And so become educated. And April's going to be a tremendous time here for our local community. We've got a lot of great leaders on the ballot. We've got a lot of great investment tools on the ballot. So educate yourself, show up, and let's affect change in our community.
It'll give us the opportunity to do some really big projects, some projects that are catalytic for the community. So Tim, I want to come back to you and hear about an idea that we heard last year when we attended the community leadership visit in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And one of Chattanooga's core values focuses around purposeful and cohesive urban design. They created what they call the Chattanooga Design Studio, that's charged with vetting and approving the design of any downtown building or project. So can you elaborate on the importance of design and how it is critical in building an exceptional community? Because I'm sure that you thought about this with this project with the art museum, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think great design establishes expectations. It establishes a vision. And it communicates what we value. The fact that we're sitting on this stage with that terrific Eames stool over here and this Noguchi table and these beautiful designed objects talks about how design improves our lives. And design goes beyond decoration. Design is about solving problems in creative and engaging ways. That could be from a bank headquarters that you and I worked on at Guaranty Bank. It can go to an art museum. It could go to the posters in the art museum. It goes to what we're trying to do with the school district and this bond issue that's coming up, where we have hired exceptional architects to build great facilities to educate our future generations. Design is kind of a hard thing to grasp sometimes because it's all around us, good design and bad design, but the best design is what engages us and points to what our values are.
Mm-hmm. Well, it strikes me, when we were in Chattanooga, they told a story about a city park that was being built, and they were going a little bit over budget, and the planners wanted to switch out some granite steps for concrete steps. And thank goodness for the Chattanooga Design Studio, because they put a stop to that and said, no, you can reduce the scope of the project, but you can't reduce the design of it. Because, once those concrete steps get in, they're never going away. And so that's just a great example of how that Chattanooga Design Studio really impacted that. So Ryan, we've discussed a couple of different projects and how they're consistent with our visioning efforts. So now I'd like to ask you to share your thoughts on how we as Springfieldians and Southwest Missourians who love our city and our region can work together to create the city of our future. It's going to take some big, audacious thinking from our leaders and each of us, right?
It is, absolutely. And, and that's what I think we're all here today to think about these sorts of things. This is an area that we've been thinking about in economic development for a while now. And let me quickly take you there to that whole chain of our thinking and why we're there. So, for us to be able to land jobs in Springfield, good paying jobs that we all want for the citizens of our area, we're going to have to meet the needs of companies, because those companies are the ones creating those jobs. And we spend a lot of time, our economic development team, our organization, talking to companies, talking to business decision makers, talking to job creators about what their biggest hurdles are. They have hurdles. They're all over the place, but I'll tell you the biggest one consistently is workforce. And can they find people with the skills that will meet the needs? And many times we're finding, and this is a national trend, that there just aren't enough people out there. So if we're going to solve for the jobs equation, we know we're going to have people. And we have invested as a community very smartly, I think, in the core of what we need to be investing in. Infrastructure, education, those sorts of things that give us a really good foundation. So if we're going to have a good talent pipeline in this area, we're going to have to invest in it, and we do. We just passed the bond issue for OTC to do some fantastic things. We have another opportunity to make the smart move in April and reinvest in our public schools, reinvest in our infrastructure. But then we also know that there just aren't going to be enough people in this area. So in order, and I'm going to be pretty frank about it, in order to win, we're going to have to steal other people's talent. We're going to have to be more aggressive as a community to attract people from other communities around the country. And in order to do that, we're making the bet that that's through placemaking, through these big, audacious projects that people look at our city and go, wow, they have their act together. They have something happening there. There's something for me there, and I can really identify with this. And we're doing a good job at that, but we're not doing a great job at that. I think as a community, we're going to have to decide to really take some bold steps, take some risk, and get to where we can be great at being a community that has a sense of place and that can accelerate our growth rate to be able to meet the needs of companies.
Because it really is a competition, isn't it? I mean, there will be winners and losers.
There will be, and we're going to be in this competition for at least the next generation. There just aren't enough people, or even more, unless our birth rate's kicked up. We're going to be in this for a long time. There aren't going to be enough people for the jobs that are there. So we're going to have to compete, and we're going to have to compete hard. And to do that, we're going to have to be aggressive, and we're going to have to take some risk as a community.
Well, last night, I'm on the Cox Health Board, and we had a board meeting last night, and I'm talking about workforce development, and they gave the statistic that there are 0.95 available workers for every one job opening that there is. So you don't have to be a banker like me to do that math and know that that doesn't work. 0.95 for every one job opening. So that's kind of our reality. That's where we're really at. So great insights from our panel. Thank you, Ryan and Tim and Mary. But I have one last lightning round question that I want to do for you. So I want you guys to close your eyes and think about 5 years into the future, okay? So 5 years into the future, someone who's not from Springfield asks you, what is it that makes Springfield the most vibrant community in Missouri? So aspirationally, what do you hope you will be able to say in 5 years when you get asked that question? Because the messaging is really important. So Mary, would you kick that off for us?
Well, I would hope that folks would be able to say that we have our communities connected by trails and that our region's trail network is the best in the state and one of our community's proudest accomplishments.
Okay. Ryan, you want to go next?
So we've worked on a talent attraction initiative, and if you've been hiding under a rock and don't know what that is, go to liveinsgf.com because you got to check that thing out. And we created a tagline, our creative firm created a tagline for that. It's enjoy the life you want. And I think that's true today, and it better be true in 5 years with an exclamation point on it. Don't worry, I'm not actually, our designers are freaking out. No, we can't put an exclamation point on that. But
He's right there, he's watching.
we need to be able to have, the folks living here spreading a message to others that said, I can enjoy the life that I want right here. I can have what it is that I want. I don't have to go to somewhere else to experience those sorts of things. Now, from here, I can get all over the world, but to enjoy those sorts of things once in a while. But I want to live here because I can enjoy the life I want.
Tim.
A welcoming, diverse community that has resolved the paradox of being an urban area in a beautiful outdoor region.
Okay.
I hope somebody wrote that down.
That could actually go on Twitter, right? So I'll share mine.
You said keep it short.
So I'll share mine. What I hope to be able to say in 5 years is that this is such a vibrant place to live and work because we have progressive leadership from the city and the business community and important community organizations that work together. They dream big. They take big calculated risks because they believe in our city and our potential. So we're always a work in progress because we never rest on our laurels and we're never satisfied with the status quo. That's what I hope I can say in 5 years. So to our audience, I encourage you to come up with your own elevator speech, so to speak, and then share it with our city leaders so they can try their hardest to make it happen. They really do want to hear from us. So I would encourage you, what's your elevator speech? Share it with the city, share it with your peers so that we can make it happen. So thank you to our panelists, Ryan and Mary and Tim. Really appreciate you being here today. Thank you for being such a great audience. And if anyone in the audience has any questions for us, we would be happy to take them. We'll be out in the lobby. So thank you.
Hey, Robin, I just thought of something too. If you want to continue this discussion as a community, we are hosting a keynote speaker who's going to talk about loving your city and investing in your city at the SBDC annual meeting. So if you have the opportunity on February 21st, you're more than welcome to come out and continue to be a part of this conversation. You can go to the Springfield Chamber's website to register, but it'll be, I think, an engaging speaker, and we can really start to dig in more on this topic.
Ryan's always able to get good speakers for the SBDC meeting, so mark that on your calendars and be there. So thanks, everyone.